All right, today's the day we finally get to go home. Not home, not back to the States. We're just going to the house and getting out of quarantine. It's important. Look, I have a serious problem. I don't know why, but I can never seem to pack until a couple of hours before I have to leave. Even when I was coming to Grenada, I ended up packing just a couple of hours before I left the house for my flight. And now again, we're supposed to leave for the house today, and I didn't pack until just now. There wasn't a lot to pack, so this time it wasn't a big deal, but usually I end up struggling, and I don't know why. I've tried. Alright, it's now 6:30. Today's been a bit of a whirlwind. I'm still at the resort. The nurses were supposed to come in the morning today to give us a rapid test and clear us medically so we could leave. But around 11:45, we got a text from our health officer who's in charge of making sure we're keeping in quarantine, basically saying that the nurses had to deal with something urgent at the health centers, so they weren't able to make it for our testing. But, now hopefully we leave early tomorrow morning. Let's try this again. We're going home today. So we just got tested. The follow-up test is really quick. It's the rapid test. So they do a really quick finger stick and put your blood into the testing kit. And within 15 minutes, they gave us the result that we're negative, so we can finally go home. Once the Ministry of Health calls us and gives us the official discharge, we're good to go grab a taxi and head to the house, where we have to quarantine for about 3 more days. But at least we'll be at the house. How excited are you guys that we're heading home?
I've never been more excited to go home.
You ready, Sonia?
Hell yeah. You know what's
Elliot?
I have no words.
Right.
Oh man, I got nothing to say right now. This is too surreal.
We back.
We're home. Oh, hello. Mama, I'm home.
Are we allowed? That's for us to do.
You what?
Hey guys, let's put our stuff down and then, because we're waiting.
Alright, we've been home now for a couple of days. Finally moved things in a little bit. There's still some things to unpack. But quarantine's finally over and we get to go out. So tonight we're celebrating that by going to 61 West. It's gonna be a fun time.
But now I think that I'm able to carry on. Oh, it's been a long time coming. But I know, change is gonna come, baby. She just hit that ice cold Michelle pie to that white gold. And this was for them good girls, straight masterpieces. Styling and they wildin' and they living it up in the shit. They got Chuck Snow, they're sailing wrong. They gotta kiss themselves, I'm so quick. Too hot, hot damn. The police and the firemen are too hot, hot damn. Don't believe me, just why, baby.
We got class in the morning.
Don't remind me.
So last night, 61 West was a lot of fun. I definitely want to go back. The food was so good. I think the burger was the best burger I've had on the island so far. Let's talk a little bit about quarantining in Grenada. You can't go out, you can't do very much, but I think the biggest problem was food. Having less control over what food you can get, I think, is one of the biggest contributors to getting sick of quarantining really fast. Either you have someone grocery shopping for you, which that's very nice of them, or you end up ordering out a lot. Now, if you're having someone else grocery shop for you, you're kind of limited to, what you can get because the other person doesn't know your preferences necessarily. And you kind of want to try and be friendly and keep the list at a minimum so that they're not carrying back a whole bunch of stuff for you. On the other hand, if you end up ordering out a lot, you run out of variety pretty quickly and it ends up costing a lot. And it's not necessarily the healthiest food you can get. Now, we stayed at the True Blue Bay Resort, and thanks because of that, we had a really comfortable place to sleep and stay. For some reason, I was under the impression that quarantining there meant that I would be quarantined in the resort, so I would at least be able to go out as long as I stayed in the confines of the resort itself. But that wasn't the case. The quarantine limited you to the room you were in, and that was it. So stepping outside of the room was problematic. The other factor was that we thought staying at True Blue Bay Resort meant we would have really good Wi-Fi. Now, I think for 99% of the guests coming to True Blue, it's perfectly fine. But for a group of students, it may not have been the best choice just because we had classes through Zoom as well as all of our lab groups. And when the 5 of us started using the Wi-Fi pretty heavily, it slowed down and kept kicking us off of our meetings repeatedly every single day. The Wi-Fi was good for anyone who's staying there for the purposes of a visit. If I was going to recommend somewhere for, someone said, hey, I want to go to Grenada, where should I stay? I would 100% recommend True Blue, just because, again, it is a gorgeous resort, and the staff are absolutely incredible. I think if it wasn't for Miss Simone Thomas in the reservations department, we would not have been able to all stay in the same resort. I would have had to have gone to a completely different location and quarantined by myself instead of being close by to the group that I'd come with. So what's it like being back? Honestly, it's been fantastic. I really miss this country. As soon as we got the notification yesterday that we were cleared to leave and officially out of quarantine, the first thing we did was go get our visitor driver's licenses at the police station. And then I got to go pick up my bike. So I can't wait to use the remaining time that I have here to go out and explore a little bit and see more that I kept putting off, in the first couple terms of my study here.